Hello, Watam here, and welcome back to small Higurashi When They Cry. Continuing on from where we left off. Ooh, look, he's like cold sweat and more cold sweat there. Mm. At Takano-san's strangely happy giggle, I felt for some reason violent displeasure. Rika-chan, every day during our lunch break, she'd take a rice pounding mallet into the schoolyard, and she'd work so hard, sweating bullets, to practice for the offertory dance she'd done today. All that effort, all that work. Takano-san disgraced it. Even though she worked so hard to practice for today.
高野さんももう少し言葉を選んでほしいです。ケイちゃん、ナイーブなんですから、あまりからかわないでください。
A moment before I opened my mouth to express how angry I was, Shion stopped me. Shion must have been fully aware of how that story made me feel.
ごめんなさい。男の子だからショッキングな話は結構好きかと思って。
Takano-san spoke without a hint of malice as she smiled gracefully.
この辺まで話を聞けば、ケイちゃんにもこの細具伝の中にどういうものがあるのか理解できるようになってきませんか？
I heard Rika in there.
ほら。
Shion pointed out one of the walls vaguely illuminated by the lantern's light. There was. Mere moments ago, they hadn't held my interest. They were just boring-looking tools lined up on the shelves. All those uninteresting tools that I didn't understand how to use. They suddenly took on new meaning, and I couldn't help but let out a groan. At first they'd looked like carpentry tools, like chisels of planes. However, when I thought back, I'd seen pictures of these sorts of tools before. Yeah, they came up in a Japanese history textbook. Yes, on the page introducing the Kaitai Shinso Sho of a new text on anatomy.
こういうのはね、医学の本場、ドイツの文献の方がリアルに掲載されてるわよ。
These aren't carpentry tools. These strangely shaped tools, they're for dissection. Fun fact, by the way, chainsaws originally designed for use on bones. Yeah. Everyone knows that in the Edo period, they would dissect the corpses of those who had been put to death in order to gain knowledge about Western medical techniques. Illustrations of the dissection tools they had used at the time came up in textbook supplements. The things hung up on this wall all looked exactly the same as those.
もっと怖い言い方をするなら、調理道具といったところかしらね。
Oh, that's terrible. Takano-san, holding the lantern, the only light source in the room, led us along the wall. She had the only light, so I had to walk after her whether I liked it or not.
ほら。
Takano-san illuminated a coiled chain, which left a bigger impression than the other things we saw. The chain itself was nothing unusual, but further along it were metal fetters that were like hinges, clearly meant for binding people.
ケイちゃん。
Like that, I'm guessing?
あれ。
Look at what? Shion tapped me on the shoulder and pointed to a restraining table that was clearly shaped like a person. Ah, fun times. My spine froze. My blood felt like it was turning into sherbet as it crawled up my back. On each of the joints there were things like chains and iron balls attached. It was like the table was searching for its next sacrifice, ready to spread their arms wide and close them in.
多分まな板じゃないかしら。犠牲者を拘束してこの台の上でお料理をしたんだと思うわね。
I mean cooking, right? Not eating. The word chopping block sent a jolt through my body. When I looked more closely, there were many dark slices carved into it, as though from a knife or a saw. So wait, so the two victims, one of them dies, okay, sure. The other one is eaten by the villagers? They were the most clear-cut signs of usage you could ask for. It proved these tools weren't just for show. They were used for their original purpose. If someone was strapped lightly onto this table, they probably wouldn't be able to move even a muscle. Their guts would be defenseless. You'd take one of those eerie cooking knives lined up there, stab them with it, and then you'd slice open their belly and dissect them. I can word still. Yeah. Thought just occurred to me. Mion, like by herself, went to live with her grandma at a village, which name I've forgotten. Yeah. Maybe it's because she had like the demon blood in her and like had cravings for human meat. That's why she left to be with her grandma.
話には聞いてたけど、すごい。
Meanwhile, Shion doesn't, and that's why she's kept out of the loop. And in the other village, town, city. Before coming in here, Shion had mentioned she had a good guess of what was inside, but it seems to have exceeded her imagination.
まだまだあるわよ。
Yay, more.
どう？
Just what you want to hear.
浪人業界より面白いでしょ。
You could say that, yeah. Takano-san had this happy expression like she was visiting a toy store for the first time. I don't get it. This Mio Takano person has nerves of steel. Are these bizarre, grotesque objects that fascinating to her? I, for one, was not enjoying myself. I'll be frank. This was all too weird for me. Still, there was something even more horrifying than all this. That would be none other than Takano-san herself. Takano-san holding the lantern giving off such a thin beam of light. If she suddenly turned it off, then I would... What would I do when, the next moment, everything went totally dark? That's why I was scared. Takano-san had the only light. And anyway, I was scared. At some point, Shion had started holding on to my shirt sleeve. It was a little annoying to walk like that, but I didn't shake her off. That minor sensation allowed me to feel the presence of an ally, here and now. Before we had even walked halfway through the storehouse, the air I felt on my skin changed completely. These cruel tools lined up, all cramming together in this place. Some were horrible ones made to take away sacrifice's freedom, and some were tools made to efficiently disassemble and prepare the bodies for consumption. Those were just the things I understood. There were plenty of other strange-looking objects that I couldn't even guess the purpose of. Now that I was here, I didn't have the slightest desire to hear the details about what sort of terrifying reasons they were meant to be used for. At the very least, they were all completely different from the sort of clean, simple killing function of a katana. Tools to kill people were, obviously, constructed in such a way that they could kill people. If that was the goal, then the person you used them on would, obviously, end up dead. The kinds of tools here, however, were different. The tools that were here were for cutting people, for crushing them, for boiling them and cooking them, and for grinding them. They were tools of torture. They weren't made to kill people. People dying was just an incidental result. Wow, yeah, it just so happens that they die when you eat them. Funny thing that, yeah. I mean, who'd have thought it? People die when they get killed. Yeah, I don't know what to say to that. Oh, actually, they might not even kill them. If the sacrifices could die during such a horrifying ritual process, that would be nice, but they don't even die in the end. They remain in a state of hellish pain. Perhaps they were only being allowed to live. Only now, in this moment, did I fully realize just how terrifying and fearsome that difference was.
人ってね、上手にやると結構殺さずに済むものらしいの。
Yay. Takano-san, as if reading my mind, displayed a shocking smile.
魔女狩りで有名な家系。火あぶりなんかはすぐに死んじゃうのよ。
I mean, not immediately, but yeah, still. I was going to say something. I've forgotten. I've got terrible memory. I guess I'll keep going. I'll look at it. Oh yeah, as if reading my mind. Yeah, you should be well aware of it by now. Everyone can read your mind. Your face is an open book.
全身の皮膚が広範囲にわたって重度のやけどを負うと、組織の分解産物で中毒症状を引き起こし、重度なショックを併発しちゃうから。
Yeah, I mean it won't be immediate. You'll be burning for a bit.
まあ確かに。それに至るまでがギロチンなんかに比べればはるかに長いところに残虐性があるんだけど。
Guillotine, though, you would have to wait in line and slowly be pushed forwards and watch everyone else before you. And it's got a long wind-up time without anything physically happening, but mentally, it's like... She described such horrors in a strangely medical way. Shion immediately answered the question I had.
高野さん、看護師さんですから。
There's a saying that nothing can scare a doctor. I guess that's true. Oh, it's
と
true.
ころがね、ローマの時代の処刑方法にね、バーベキューと同じにね、金網で挟みつけて炭火でじっくりと焼いたんですって。
Huh. To think the memories of when I wanted to a day camp with my family would come rushing back now of all times so vividly.
これだとね、どういうわけかなかなか死なないらしいのよ。ものの本によると、一昼夜かけて片側が炭化するくらいこんがり焼いても、
Ah,
まだ意識があって流暢に話をしたなんて記述も出てくるから。
interesting, I guess. That's insane. You'd grill someone for a whole day and they'd still be conscious. It said that ancient Rome, famous for their executions, thought of plenty of ways to execute someone while having the victim stay alive as long as possible. We also had decimation, where it was literally, it didn't matter what role you had in it, there was still a 1 in 10 chance that you'd be the one killed.
その中にね、お腹を開いて腸をウインナーみたいに引っ張り出してウィンチで引っ張り上げて晒し物にする刑があったんですって。
I mean, also famously, the cross. Yeah. Shion was behind me, clinging to me. Not just because she was scared. She was protecting her stomach.
臓物を引っ張り出すなんて聞いただけでもすぐに死んじゃいそうでしょ。
No, it's not like blood's being cut off to the brain. Intestines wouldn't be immediate.
でもね、丁寧に優しくやるとね、
I mean, it would
意
certainly be
識
fatal.
がはっきりとした状態のまま腹渡を引きずり出すことって可能らしいのよ。
I'd expect them to lose consciousness though. I felt a sick feeling in my stomach. It was like my organs were coiling up, just from Takano-san's stare.
ウィンチで引っ張り出すっていうのはなんだか大行な方法だけど、もっと野蛮に裂いた腹から臓物をちぎっては投げちぎっては投げという、そんな恐ろしい刑もあったんじゃないかって十分に考えられない？
Fun times.
でも処刑者には意識があるの。それは痛い以上に恐ろしい体験なんでしょうね。
She spoke with pleasure, as if she had come here on a sightseeing trip. I heard Shion gulping multiple times near my ears.
ひなみ沢の、いえ、鬼ヶ淵村の綿流しもそんな感じだったのかしらね。ほら、耳を澄ませば聞こえてくるような気がしない？
Hear what? I wanted nothing more than to not hear anything at all. So why? Why only at times like these do I begin to hear things I shouldn't be able to? Ah, bells. I was expecting it to be the sound of like the plow hitting the feet on. Takano-san, having realized she'd scared Shion and I enough at this point, smiled soothingly. Then she turned on her heel, raised the lantern, and began to walk again. If Takano-san left us here, we'd get even further away from the light. Shion and I, no matter how scared we were forced to follow Takano-san along on her field trip through the ritual storehouse.
これで軽く一周できたかしらね面白いところでしょ
She says, raising the lantern high in the center of the storehouse. The dim lighting didn't change, but for some reason it felt like I was able to see all these horrible tools at once. What? Shion stammered while grabbing the nape of my neck. I couldn't tell because it was so dark, but there were a lot more tools hanging from the ceiling as well. They all looked like they were made of iron bars, but then I figured it out. Cages. Ah. The cages, they were very small. Cramped cages, just for one, like a casket. If you got locked up in there, no, you wouldn't get locked up inside it. It was another tool meant for restraining people, where the iron bars would squeeze you tightly. So many, big and large, things of all shapes were hanging down. Takano-san's mention of execution by grilling crosses my mind. We weren't just surrounded on all sides by these terrifying instruments. Things crowded the ceiling, were even hanging over our heads.
ヨーロッパの拷問道具にこういった鳥かごがたくさん登場するわね。日本にもあったなんて驚きだわ。ゲイちゃん、あれ中に入ってない？
Okay.
人？ミイラ？
Yeah?
どれ？
Is she playing a trick on me? Shion desperately pointed to one of the many human-sized bird cages hanging from the ceiling, but I couldn't tell which one she meant. Being that dark, there wasn't any way you could tell if something was there in the first place.
私には何も見えないけど、見間違いじゃないの
？Shion didn't seem convinced, but without a means to confirm for ourselves, we couldn't do much but wonder.
これで前原君にもなんとなく信じられるようになったんじゃないかしら？
I was going to say, that will be her cage, right? That's how it works out, right?
ひなみ沢に伝えられる恐ろしい儀式の数々が。
It's got nothing to do with believing in them. Now that I've been shown the real things like this, there's no possible way to deny it. Even the nations of Europe, with all their beautiful landscapes and legends, were like a maelstrom during the terrible witch hunts in the Dark Ages. It's well known that the era gave birth to countless gruesome forms of torture and execution. Japan was the same way. Didn't it have its own era of hellscape-like torturous feasts because of religious suppression and things of that nature? Hinamizawa itself had such a period. It had that much history behind it. Even in Europe, land of the witch hunts, it was all far in the past, no more than a series of historical events. And in this age, nothing that abnormal would ever happen. That must apply to Hinamizawa as well, right?
中世の暗黒時代とかがそうだったように、ひなみ沢にも暗黒時代があった。
Right, it's totally not still happening.
そういうものなんだと解釈します。本当にひなみ沢でこういう恐ろしいことがあったのだとしても、それは大昔の出来事なんです。
Are you so sure about that? With the 2 people every year?
今暮らしているひなみ沢の人々とは何の関係もないことです。
Again, are you sure?
前原くんは本当にひなみ沢が好きなのね。
It didn't sound like she was making fun of me. Takano-san gave me a light smile.
でも高野さんはその風習が実は現代にも残っているんじゃないかと思って研究をしてるんです。そうでしたよね。
Shion suggested something that made my heart leap into my throat. Are you telling me that all these horrible things are still going on even today?
これ本当に内緒なんだからね。しおんちゃんは理解のある人だから話したけど、他の村人には聞かれたくないの。下手をしたら罰当たり者ってことで袋叩きにされかねないんだから。
Shion flashed a devilish smile, as if reveling in the immorality of it.
前原くんも内緒にしてね。知られたら私、お社様のたたりに会うか、生贄にされちゃうかするかもしれない。たたりなら、今年はどんな死に方をさせられちゃうのかしら。
She realizes that she's potentially talking about herself as well, and smiling. Why?
生贄なら鬼ヶ淵の沼に生きたまま沈められちゃうのかしら。そういえば今夜よね。
How can you smile?
お社様のたたりがある夜は。
How can you smile while talking about this? Takano-san said, bringing her face right up close to ours. As if to say that if she had the choice, she'd rather suffer the curse. That was what she seemed to be implying. Okay, I was wondering what that sound was. Takano-san took out a fairly worn notebook out of her paper bag, then began to flip through its pages. There are all sorts of references and newspaper clippings attached to them, and it had all manner of things written inside. The letters were very small and bunched together, so I couldn't tell at a glance what it was all about.
本当は国会図書館で当時の新聞を探したいんだけどね。ほら、ここ。
A photocopy of a page from some book was slid into the notebook, and it too was written in a small, tight lettering. Like the other pages, I couldn't tell what it was about just by glancing at it.
これは実際にあったお話よ。明治の終わり頃にね、鬼ヶ淵村で身元不明の惨殺死体が発見されたんですって。
An old newspaper clipping attached to the page spoke of something that was no mere rumor or fairy tale.
当時の警察の資料がほとんど残ってないそうだから、口伝と記憶によるものだけなんだけどね。ほら、これ不鮮明だけど、明治の頃の新聞の切り抜きみたい。
Never before has there been a corpse treated with such cruelty and inhumanity. Could it be the work of a demon? Being a copy of a copy, it was very hard to make out, but it was more than enough to make me feel strangely tense. Near the end of the Meiji era, in an old Onigafuchi village, a mangled corpse was discovered. The identity of the corpse was unknown. It wasn't even in a state where it could be identified in the first place. It was missing a head, and each limb was separated from the body. Skin had been peeled off the entire body, and there were markings that implied terrible torture in every place imaginable. Not only that, but the belly had been cut open with a sharp knife, the entrails completely dragged out. The police immediately began an investigation, But since they couldn't even determine the identity of the victim, much less the criminal, finding answers was extremely difficult.
どういう状況かわかるかしら？
I couldn't imagine such a strange sight, even if I had tried. This was the first time I was ever thankful for my lack of imagination.
被害者は生きながらにして全身の皮を剥がれ、あらゆる拷問を受けていじめ殺されたんです。
Yay!
そして死後にもさらに遺体を分解、解剖と残虐の限りを尽くしたのではないかって筆者は見ているわね。私はどの工程も生きているうちにやったんじゃないかって思ってるんだけどね。
The entire process. Oh, it's an quotation.
前原君はどう思うかしら？
She spoke in a way intended to make me imagine even more vicious things. As my brain was already far over capacity, however, there was no way I could imagine anything more brutal. Then, when I broke my gaze from Takano-san's, those strangely shaped weird tools were all around us. I wonder if you could faithfully reproduce the mutilated corpse discovered at the end of the Meiji era, with the tools found in this place. I want to deny it. I don't want to admit that something so terrible could have happened at all. Even so, they were so strange, so terrifying, these tools. As if they had seen through my attempt to escape from them, they did nothing but ridicule me silently.
その薄気味悪い事件が何だって言うんですか？
It's been a murder.
筆者はね、鬼ヶ淵村の恐ろしい習慣は明治以降の近代。ひょっとすると昭和初期くらいまでは残ってたんじゃないかって結んでるわ。
This corpse, at a glance, appeared to have been brutally killed after a period of torture. In actuality, however, it was the pitiful sacrificial remains of the man-eater's terrifying feast. The corpse was just leftovers. They left it out, and some annoying person's gone in and wasted all that perfectly good food that was left over. Anyway, it was so fantastic, so strange that it didn't feel real. Was this an extension of the legends too? It happened in the Meiji era, though, which is just too recent to be called a legend. Also, there's a newspaper clipping right here suggesting it.
でも本当にあったとしたって昔のことですよね。
Right?
明治なんて言ったらそれこそ100年くらい前の。
たったよ。たった100年前のことよ。
Yeah, 100 years isn't all that long ago, if you think about it.
それにね、
Besides,
昭和に入ってからだってあるんだから。
yay.
終戦直後に騒ぎになった缶詰疑惑。あ、ごめんなさい。
How?
この話はタブーだったわよね。
Takano-san immediately stopped talking as if worried about Shion. Shion briefly looked somewhat angry, but that expression soon disappeared.
今高野さんなんて言いました？缶詰疑惑って。
Just then, there was a huge creaking noise. Everyone ripped around to look. It was Tomitake-san, who had opened the door slightly. Festival's over?
驚かせちゃったかな。
あら、二郎さんも見たくて我慢できなくなったかしら？
僕は遠慮させてもらうよ。
Good choice.
生来ね、こういうのは苦手なんだ。
So sorry for what you're going to experience soon. Takano-san held her stomach and tapped to muffle her laughter, as if she wanted to make a comment about his masculinity.
それより、演舞とセレモニーが終わって、みんな沢の方に降りていったよ。あと何分もしないうちにお祭りは終わっちゃう。
あら、いけない。前原くんがあまりにも聞き上手だから、またお話三昧になっちゃったわ。
I'd really rather you not mention me in a place like this.
二郎さんは表で待っててくれるかしら。私はちょっと写真を撮るわね。本当はいくつか道具を持って帰りたいんだけど、それはさすがに無理そうだからね。
Takano-san took a camera out of her paper bag and began to snap photographs. She looked like she was having fun, like she was on a scavenger hunt.
ケイチ君も出るかい？
もう十分に見ましたので。シオン、もういいだろう。出ようぜ。綺麗な空気が吸いたいよ。
同感です。出ましょう。
I did feel a bit of hesitation at leaving Takano-san by herself in this darkness. When I thought about it, though, I realized that whatever kinds of evil spirits and ghosts lurked in the darkness, none of them could hold a candle to how scary she was. Even if a phantasm were to appear, she'd be overjoyed and flash her camera at it. It seemed like Shion shared my somewhat rude mental images. We exchanged glances and smiled painfully. We left Takano-san there, bathed in her strobe of camera flashes, and decided to go leave the ritual storehouse. What fun happy music now! Yeah, everyone at the festival seemed to have gone to the stream, so their voices were very distant. On that note, I think since we've finished that section, I'll end it there for today. Probably like a minute from the end, but the section, but you never know, I might be like another half hour away. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments, and until next time, see ya.